Hello friends, welcome back to my Python series. Today I am going to show you some miscellaneous programs which I have written. Over here, as you can see, these are the upcoming miscellaneous programs so far what we have covered on basis of that, but with a bit of different approaches. So today I am showing you to present a program that involves list of dictionaries, as you can see right over here. So what we have got one student, and this student is a list, that what we can see, but inside the list we have got a dictionary. In this program I'm not taking any user input because I want to talk about the internal structure and some of the operational part. So for that reason I have taken the input directly in the code. So there are three dictionaries present inside the list called student. Now if I run my program, let me show you what the output is, and here it comes. What are these few lines, these three lines? Let me show you over here. I wanted to print the address of my student list. Okay, so I wrote address of the student, ID, Brisbane close. Within that I wrote the name of the student, and we got an address. And then I want to see the address of the first dictionary present inside the list. So I wrote ID student, which is a list, so I wrote third bracket, and within that I gave 0. And then I want to see the second dictionary. I wrote within bracket 1. Can you make out anything out of these three lines? Well, in case if you are having a trouble, don't worry, I will help you. Let me show you a graphical illustration. Here it comes. Firstly, you need to know that Python follows the concept called automatic memory management, making use of garbage collector for allocating objects or to release the object from the memory. Do keep it in mind, it follows automatic memory management scheme. Just like the way in C language we have dynamic memory management, over here we have got automatic memory management. So how exactly this whole thing is going to work? Well, in C we know that there is something called stack, and as we make use of dynamic memory allocation, heap comes in picture. But in context to Python, heap is there all the time. You don't have to call the heap separately. Like for example, I created a list by the name called student. That list is actually present inside the stack. And what about these dictionaries? Well, these dictionaries are actually located inside the heap. So the very first dictionary, let's consider this is the one that is present inside the heap. It got an address, and that address is actually stored as a reference inside this list in the 0th index. So what I mean is, the list itself has got an address. That's the reason you can see this very address, the address of the list, which I have printed using ID within bracket student. So it is printing the address of the list that exists inside the stack. But at that point of time it is not talking about the object. It is not talking about the dictionary that the list consists of. So if you want to print the address of the dictionary, then you have to refer them through the help of index. The other reason I have written over here student within bracket 0 index, that talks about the very first object that is present inside the heap memory, or it talks about the very first dictionary that is present inside heap memory. This address is the address of the heap memory who is holding this particular dictionary. So that means the second index, which points to the next dictionary, will be located somewhere else. Exactly, that's the reason you don't find any similarity in the address. They are of different addresses because these objects or these dictionaries inside the heap, they are dynamically allocated. So remember, according to the automatic memory management scheme, the way it works is the initial reference will be stored inside the stack memory, like the list reference is stored inside the stack memory, but each index that holds the dictionaries, they are located in the heap memory dynamically, and those address is what the list is going to hold. That's the reason why I have shown the addresses of each dictionary that the list is holding index wise. So this is the 0 index, this is the 1 index, this is the 2 index. In that way this allocation of the memory management is taking place. Okay, so I have written over here the student stores in the stack over here points to the list of objects inside his. These are the list of dictionaries that are present inside the heap. Each dictionary, so I'm talking about this one, each dictionary in the list is stored inside heap. So the list itself is stored inside the heap memory, and its reference is actually been stored inside the student that exists inside stack memory. So this is an interview question which often been asked, that what type of memory management Python makes use of. So you need to say that Python makes use of automatic memory management using garbage collector for allocating and reallocating or deallocating the object from the heap memory. And this is an ideal example. If you want to illustrate, you can illustrate using this small demonstration you can put forward, stating the address of the list present inside the stack and the respective index holding each dictionary. You can explain it in this fashion. Okay, so I believe you now understood that how this thing is working, and this thing is not just in context to this particular program. In the upcoming days, lists that contain lists, or lists that contain set, or lists that contain tuples, everywhere this thing is what going to be applicable. This is a common concept which Python makes use of. Okay, and you can see the address with the help of id method. Now we can go for printing the individual list, individual dictionary that is present in the list. So for student in students, look, this is the students means the list. So as we saw that at 0 index we have got one dictionary, that is what going to be copied over here. So when it is running for the first time, this particular list that holds dictionary at the 0 index, that will be stored over here, and that's what you are seeing individually. Then again in the second iteration it will pick up at the index number 1. This particular index number 1, it holds the next dictionary that will pick up and store inside the student totally, and that would be printed directly. As you can see over here, the total dictionary is getting printed directly. Again in the next iteration it will pick up the index number 2, that entire from the list the entire dictionary will be picked up and stored over here, and that is going to be printed over here. So I believe now you understood that you can refer to these index, and index wise you can handle the dictionaries, and then you can print them as a whole. But suppose if you want to access one of the specific dictionary present inside the list, how would you do that? Very simple. You first target the index, which index or which particular dictionary you want, your particular dictionary index you target, and then you go with the respective keys. Like I am targeting index number 1, so this particular index, right, it is index number 1. So now index number 1 is the entire dictionary, and from there I am specifying the individual keys. Like over here what I have done, as a result you can see a particular dictionary present in a particular index of the list. In the same fashion you can modify one of the content by the respect with the index with that of the key, like what I did over here. So now I have modified, and then let me print it to see whether the modified version worked or not. So that means Alice grade initially was A, and now it is A plus, and that what got reflected right over here. A got changed to A plus. So that's the way you can modify any one of the content of the dictionary with the help of the key referring to the index of the list. Please follow the statement I am using. In that fashion you need to put forward. You can insert a new dictionary inside the existing list with the help of append function, and once you do that, then you again print back the entire list, and you will be see that the dictionary David was introduced inside the list. Now there is something called flattening. Flattening means you just want to print the data in one particular row. In that way you can think about it. So from the student which is my list, I am picking up individual dictionary, and from there I'm just going to print only a particular field, that is the name, the key, the name. So all the name present in each of the dictionary within this list is been printed in this fashion. And over here I've given end equals to quotation open space quotation close. That's the reason you are seeing this gap. So you can consider them as a delimiter. How do you separate one data without the other one? With the help of the end keyword you can do that, or the end argument you can do that. So this is the way you can set a delimiter over here. I have given a space as a delimiter. You can use any delimiter of your choice. Now before we end up, I wanted to make use of Lambda function for sorting the list, and in context to a particular field in the dictionary, and I wanted to make use of age, and here I've written reverse equals to true so that it is shown from descending to ascending, from higher value to lower value. So as you can see over here, after the sorted result, if I print back the data, you can see the age are now been shown from the descending to ascending, 23, 22, 21 and 20. So how exactly the lambda function is working? As we know, the lambda function is a way of implementing function. Let me show you. This is my actual list on which the sorting will be taking place. So this sorting will be taking place in corresponding to each of the dictionary. So this is my dictionary. For in respect to each of the dictionary, the sorting will be taking place. Now you are going to sort on basis of one particular field or one particular key, and the key which I am using over here is called age, and for that reason there is an argument called key. Now I am using lambda function. As you know that when you use lambda function, you don't have to write any name for the function. The lambda word itself represents a function. So lambda is there. This is the parameter, you can say. So just consider lambda to be the name of the function, then this would be the parameter, right? So lambda, then space, then x is represented as a parameter. Now this parameter is going to hold the entire dictionary. Out of that dictionary, I'm going to target a particular key called age, because as you can see over here, the student is your list. So as it goes to call sort function, it will pick up one dictionary each index wise. So at the 0 index, the dictionary will pick up, then again next iteration you pick up this dictionary, and the next iteration you pick up this dictionary. So in each iteration it is going to pick up one dictionary, and that dictionary will be stored inside this x, because this is an argument for the lambda function. Now inside this x, which holds the entire dictionary, there is a key called age, and that is what I am targeting. On that basis the sorting is taking place. So if you want to sort ascending to descending, then don't write the reverse equals to true, but if you want to sort from descending to ascending, then you have to write the reverse equals to true, and thereafter the entire list is, all the dictionaries has been sorted for the given list, and then finally you print back the whole list, where each dictionary will be printed in a sorted fashion on basis of the respective field, which is the age in this context. So from this particular program, we really understood that how Python makes use of the memory management. Number one, using garbage collector. Number two, we realized that the concept of stack and heap, how essential they are, and we also understood that each index of a list can hold a dictionary, and we can work on that dictionary individually on basis of the index, and then followed by the key of those dictionary subsequently. Okay, so in this particular video we talked about a list that hold multiple dictionaries. In my upcoming video we will talk about a list that will hold again multiple lists within itself. So outer list versus inner list, that's how the thing is going to work. Okay, so that's all from this video presentation. See you soon. Bye bye.